All right, let's get right into it. We're tackling one of the great British mysteries. Why on earth is the weather here so famously, and let's face it, so maddeningly unpredictable?
Now, seriously, think about that for a second. On this one relatively small island, you could be getting a tan down in Cornwall, while someone else is literally digging their car out of the snow up on Ben Nevis, on the very same day. How is that even possible? Well, believe it or not, it's not just random chaos. There's actually a system to the madness, a kind of code.
And that's what we're here to do. We're going to crack that code together. We're going to piece this whole puzzle together using 5 massive clues. And I promise you, once you see them, you'll never look at a weather forecast the same way again. Ready? Let's do it.
Okay, clue number 1. This is a big one. It's all about high ground versus low ground. Yep, we're talking about altitude.
So here's the deal with altitude. The higher up you go, the colder it gets. It's pretty simple, really. The air gets thinner, right? So there's just less stuff up there to hold on to the sun's heat. And it's surprisingly predictable. For every 150 meters you go up, you can pretty much count on the temperature dropping by a whole degree Celsius.
And you see this play out perfectly in the UK. You've got London, right? Basically it's sea level, so it stays relatively warm. But then you head all the way up to the top of Ben Nevis, that's over 1,300 meters high. Just doing the math, that means it's at least 9 degrees colder up there than it is at the bottom. And that's before you even think about the wind. It's exactly why you can see snow on the peak even in the middle of summer. So clue number 1, altitude, check.
All right, on to clue number 2. It's not just about how high you are above the sea. It's also about how far you are away from it.
Now, this is so cool. Land and water are total opposites when it comes to heat. Think about it. The land heats up super fast on a sunny day, right? But then, poof, the second the sun goes down, that heat is gone. The sea, though, it's like this giant slow-motion battery. It takes ages and a ton of energy to warm up. But once it's warm, it stays that way for a really long time.
And the effect this has is huge. So in the summer, the sea is still pretty cool, which keeps a coastal town like Penzance at a nice, comfortable 19-20 degrees. But you go inland to a place like Cambridge, away from that cooling effect, and bam, it's hitting 25 degrees easy. But then, the seasons flip. In winter, that giant sea battery starts releasing all the heat it's stored up over the summer. It keeps Penzance feeling pretty mild, while poor old Cambridge is getting hammered by frost. The sea is basically the UK's giant thermostat.
On to clue number 3. This one's pure geography. It's all about where we are on the globe and how much sun we're actually getting.
The magic word here is latitude. Just picture the Earth as a ball. The sun's rays smack the equator straight on, right? Like a focus beam from a torch. But as you move north, towards us, that same beam gets spread out over a much bigger area. It's more of a glancing blow. So for the UK, the rule is dead simple. The further south you go, the warmer it gets.
And you can really see the difference. In the middle of summer, the sun down in Cornwall is high in the sky, over 60 degrees up, just blasting the place with energy. But way up in the Shetland Islands, the sun barely scrapes 50 degrees. That one little difference in the angle of the sun, that's a massive reason why Cornwall almost always wins the warmth contest.
Okay, our 4th clue is a bit more sneaky. It's a subtle one, but it's responsible for all these little microclimates you find all over the country. It's literally just about which direction a hill is facing.
Is called aspect. Think about how the sun moves across the sky in the UK. It's always in the south, right? So if you have a hill that's facing south, it gets drenched in sunlight all day long. But the other side of that exact same hill, the north-facing slope, it could be in the shade for most of the day. And this isn't a small thing. It can be the difference between a thriving vineyard on one side and a damp, mossy patch of ground on the other. It's that powerful.
And that brings us to our 5th and final clue. And honestly, this is the big one. This is the absolute game changer. It's this invisible force that pretty much decides what the climate is for the whole country.
What am I talking about? Ocean currents. You see, the UK is ridiculously lucky. We happen to be parked right in the path of this huge conveyor belt of warm water called the North Atlantic Drift. It's basically a massive river flowing inside the ocean, and it carries all this warm, toasty water from way over in the Gulf of Mexico and drops it right on our doorstep.
I love that description because it's exactly what it is. And we're not talking about slightly warm water here. This water is 5, sometimes even 10 degrees Celsius warmer than it has any right to be this far north. It's like the whole country has its own giant natural central heating system. It's incredible.
So, just how much of a difference does this giant heater make? Get ready for this. If that current wasn't there, our climate would be nothing like it is.
We're on the same latitude as parts of Canada and Russia, you know? Without that warm water, our winters would be brutal. We'd be frozen solid, with temperatures way, way below zero. That current is literally the only thing standing between us and a Siberian winter.
So there they are, our 5 clues. We've got altitude, being near the coast, latitude, which way the land is facing, and that massive ocean current. We've got all the pieces. Let's put this puzzle together once and for all. See, the weather you're looking at right now, right outside your window, is just a mix of all these 5 things. If it's cold and snowy, you're probably up high, right? Altitude. If it's weirdly mild for a January day, you can thank the sea and that amazing warm current. And if it's just gorgeous and sunny, well, odds are you're down south on a bit of land that's soaking up all those rays.
And that's the big secret. That's the solution. The weather in the UK isn't just random. It's not a lottery. It's this incredibly complex but beautiful puzzle. It's just these 5 huge forces all battling it out, pushing and pulling against each other every single day, everywhere in the country.
So, from now on, when you look out the window, don't just see rain or sun. See the clues. See the forces that are making it happen. Because you know the code now. So go on, have a look. Which of these 5 factors do you think is winning the battle outside your window, right at this very moment?